This is this week's video. Last week I was on a vacation. I enjoyed it. But this week we're going to go over the second part of the Citizen Struggle game. And what is that exactly? Well, last time I showed you these people, the characters that you essentially control and who have pretty nice umbrellas. We went over the umbrella power-up, which allowed them to have the umbrella. And finally we went over these numbers, which was the score. Now today I'm going to show you the rest. Due to the fact that most of it is similar, I'll teach it all right now. So there's a few things. One is the rain, or you could say it's blood, whatever you want to call it. But this comes down from the top of the screen in this green zone, and it keeps on going down until it hits the edge of the screen. Another one are these clouds. These are like very light teal, and their goal is that they will stop the rain if it hits it. It's very small and does not last very long, but protection is protection, I guess. The next one is this little red one, as you just saw it move through the bottom of the screen. You could technically call it a red wave, blood wave, something, frankly. And its goal is essentially to trip you up when you're trying to jump over it. And finally, actually not finally, there's three more, I mean, my bad. So first off, let's see if it can appear here. Usually appears right at the start. This is a little trap which will kill any students that come out of the ground. It'll come out of the ground and anyone who walks into it will die. Another one is this one, which is one of the more unique ones. Its goal is to kind of trap people. If things are already going crazy and that platform rises out of the ground, it provides the benefit of blocking the rain, like these blue ones. On the other hand, it will kill you if you keep staying down there while it lowers down. Alright, and then finally is these borders, which close in over time. So there's three. The top, the left, and the right, and each one just moves in, and it continues this for 3 minutes, and then once it is at 3 minutes, it will go ahead and reset instead of killing everyone, essentially. It won't keep going in compressing. So, let's go over the code for each of these. We will start with the sideways one. Its costume is just a red dot. Well, red rectangle. So, it starts on negative 200, negative 136, which is right here. It's on the edge of the blue. And every time I tell it to start, I tell it to go to that position and then hide. And after 5 seconds, it will begin by randomly checking, and it'll check every second to see if a random number between 1 and 10 gives a 1. And if it gives 1, it will clone itself, and then wait a second. And then we'll wait a second again. And then every time it starts as a clone, it'll appear, and then move 5 steps. And then we'll repeat this until touching the blue. It'll just move a random amount between 1 and 5. Which means it'll go forward like this, all the way across. And it will kind of jump forward, in a sense, as is random. We can take a look at this again, see if it happens. Let's just give it another moment. We can make it easier here. There. See, it kind of jumps forward. It's a 1 to 10 chance. And then once it hits the edge, it'll delete itself. So next one, the rain. The blood rain, I guess. It's almost exactly the same, except it's a bit more randomized. While the original one is hard-coded to just go across, this one just randomly drops down rain. So first, I tell it to go to a random X position, however 177, which is up there, right at the top of the screen. It will hide, it will wait 5 seconds, and then it will do the exact same check, except I'm going to say between 1 and 5, if it gets a 1, and there is no wait. And then every time it creates a clone, it will go ahead and wait until it touches sprite 12, the edge, or the cloud here. And once that happens, it will delete itself. Another one is when it starts as a clone, it will go to a random X position again, and then it will appear. It will keep going down until it touches the black and change the Y position by -1 to -5, meaning that it will randomly go downward. That means some rain will be farther than others, in a sense, you could say. So, next one is this cloud. It's very simple. It's a lot simpler than the last two. It starts by hiding itself. It goes to a random position, and it goes right here, 193, -23. It will wait 5 seconds, and then forever it will check between 1 and 50 with the no wait again, and it'll create a clone of itself. See? And that clone will appear, pick a random spot on the same X, wait 1 to 5 seconds, and then kill itself. See, this thing waits 1 to 5 seconds and deletes. Next up is these. These are using the pen add-on with the stamp. So we go ahead by erasing everything when it starts, and forever it will reset the timer and then perform the task of reset. So it will go to its starting position, and then it will repeat until the timer, which is this, goes to 180. Then it will keep checking and setting the X to 596 minus the timer. It's a unique set of code which allows it to essentially keep moving forward. And every time it will stamp itself, and once that happens, it'll erase all. And it's exactly the same for this one, I'm pretty sure. Yep. The only difference is that every time this one happens, it'll add 116 with timer. While this one takes 596, which is over here, and subtract timer. Alright, and then the final one, slightly more complicated. I used a variable for this. So first off, it erases everything. It goes to its position at the start there. It's a bit weird. It goes right there. It will reset the timer and then reset. It will go to this X position and the Y position, which is right at the top, and then set Y to this Y variable. And then we'll stamp, and we'll repeat this until timer gets to 180, and once it does, it will erase all. However, what is Y? Y is a variable I put in, which just does this, which sets Y to -A5 minus the timer. And you may ask, like, hey, why didn't you just put it in here? Well, it doesn't really matter much because the timer will make sure to reset. Every time you restart or reset happens, it'll do 0, and it'll set Y to -A5. So that one's done. Now let's move on to the rising floor. This one uses 2 sections, which is a bit more strange, but it does its job the way it works. So this one uses an X variable compared to the last one, which was the Y variable. So when it starts, it'll hide, it'll wait a second, and show. And forever, it'll check between 1 and 3 to 1. It'll show. It'll set the X to -195 to 194, which is a random X position from here to here. And then we'll do the block name, which is down here. It'll glide upward, and it'll go to -161, and then it'll pick a slightly randomized height so it doesn't look like it's always at the same height. It'll wait 1 to 5 seconds, and then go back down. It'll constantly change the Y by 1 until the Y position is less than -160.999. Then after that, it'll hide, it'll wait a second, and then do the same thing all over again, which allows for an interesting, idea. See, it goes up, then goes back down. Finally, that platform. So when it starts, it's similar to the last one. It hides, it waits 5 seconds, then appears, compared to the last one, which was hide, appear after 1 second, and then wait 5. And then forever, it will pick a random number, 1 through 10. If it hits 10, it will appear. It will set another variable called x2 to a random X position, and then it'll go to the X position, and then choose block name. And block name, it'll glide upward, it'll wait a couple seconds and go back down, and then randomize the Y position so it looks kind of like it's staggering downward. Then it will hide and wait a second. And that is all the code for that. Now let me just double check this. There is no backdrop code. Let's load this one more time. Yep, replace the content. So we can see this one more time in action. You can move around, you can jump. That is the platform that goes up to kill you. That was the sideways that tries to screw you over when you don't jump. This is the rain. Another sideways platform. You have the clouds up there. You have the trick bar here, which just took out one of my people. I have the sideways walls which are coming in, and then at some point the power-up will appear and all that. And I'll be able to become an umbrella. Yep. See? Safety, however, will try to crush you. See? There it is. Let me avoid that. And now they have pretty umbrellas. I always like the umbrellas because of the way I set it up, as you noticed in the last video, but if you didn't watch it, simply put, I went ahead and set a random color variation for each person so they all look unique. However, the umbrellas also are unique in color because of that. So let's go ahead and grab this one. See, they have different colored umbrellas. Now, this game, I had no intentions of beating. I didn't think it'd be too hard, but it actually was. I sent it to some friends, and they found it pretty difficult. I was able to beat it, however, it took a long time. And part of the challenge is the walls closing in, as it forces you to react quicker and quicker in less time. Now, there is a few glitches. First of all, some things can appear beyond that. Well, bug, not glitch, as that is in the coding. However, part of the issue with it is that it can't do that. I cannot fix that because if I say touching red, a lot of these things will not work properly. For example, the clouds will immediately disappear most of the time, or will end up getting stuck in the wall, or when rain touches it, it will disappear, which is not my intention. Now, the black things that rise out of the ground would also have an issue, as they are always touching black. Oh, I may actually win this. I wasn't really paying attention. Yeah, I won. Now, oh, there we go. So originally, this would be like a one playthrough. You won, and that would be that. However, I went ahead and added in the code, which resets it after a few seconds. Which is why why I had a custom module in some of the wall bits, which allowed it to randomly go ahead and do it again, you know? Alright. Well, I hope you have a good day and enjoyed the video. Goodbye.